Hey everyone. I know that a lot of people are very anxious about everything going on right now. Anxious because they're worried about catching COVID 19, novel coronavirus, nervous because of economic reasons. There's a lot of reasons to be anxious right now. Um, and it's legit. It's totally legit. But our anxieties can sometimes get the best of us. I've been suffering from generalized anxiety disorder for a long time now, and I have found very recently in the last year that breathing meditations can really help me, and mindfulness meditations can really help me kind of control the symptoms of generalized anxiety disorder. So I really wanted to share with everyone a breathing meditation that is easy to do and easy to do on your own. And I really recommend when the anxiety is really getting out of control, doing a breathing meditation like this to really clear your mind and to calm down those anxious voices in your head. That's really where I get into trouble. So, first of all, I would like to see everyone just take some deep breaths. Let's kind of let your body know that you are going into meditation mode. So take some deep breaths just to start. Hold them in. Get that heart rate down. Taking some deep breaths and preparing your body to be able to meditate. Now, during this breathing meditation, I'm going to be talking, so I'm not going to be doing the exact same thing as you. What I want you to do in order for this to be most effective for you is to really sort of keep that breathing rhythm regular. So here's the type of breathing I recommend to begin right now to get into the breathing meditation. So one of the things that I recommend that is going to kind of keep your mind on your body and on your breath and on your mindfulness is to stick your tongue right behind your teeth, the top row of teeth, between the teeth and the gums, lightly. Don't press it. Just kind of lay your tongue there. I'm not going to do it through this whole thing because it's going to make me sound weird when I'm talking. But lay your tongue there. It helps you keep your mind on what you're doing, and it gives you a point to refocus on if your mind starts to wander, which it will. And that's okay. That's part of this. So once your tongue's in place, you're going to be breathing in for 7 seconds, or as long as you can, then holding for about 4 seconds, then breathing out for about 7 seconds, and holding for about 3 or 4 seconds, and then repeating. Your first few breaths, it's going to be difficult to really breathe in for 7 seconds. Your heart rate is still up, and that's why we took some deep breaths at the beginning. Your heart rate's still up. You're not, you're not in deep breathing mode yet. So it's okay if you don't go for the full 7 seconds in, 7 seconds out. If you keep kind of aiming at that, it will get easier and easier as we go till the end, where it's just effortless to be taking in a 7-second breath, holding for 4, and then letting go with a 7-second exhalation. So I'm going to do that now a couple times just to show you, and you can start to get into the rhythm with me. Make sure your back is straight. I'm going to try and remember to do that while I'm talking and doing this at the same time. I may forget, but just try and keep your back straight. For one, and keep your shoulders back. It opens up your chest so that it's easier to take these deeper breaths. You want maximum lung capacity. So putting your shoulders back gives your lungs all the room they need to expand. So we're going to do 7 seconds in, 4 seconds holding, 7 seconds out, 4 seconds holding, and back to 7 seconds in. I'm going to do it a few times, and then I'm going to start. You're going to continue while I start the mindfulness sort of instruction. You can do this either both inhale, exhale through your nose, both inhale, exhale through your mouth, or inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth if you want. My nose is a little plugged, so I'm going to just be using my mouth. Usually I do inhale through my nose, exhale through my mouth. But whatever works for you, just get a good rhythm of your breath going. So another 7 seconds in, hold, and another 7 seconds out, and hold. Keep that rhythm going, and I'm going to start talking over your rhythm. Remember to be breathing in for 7 seconds, holding for about 4, breathing out for about 7 seconds, and holding empty lungs for about 4 more seconds. Again, you're not going to hit these numbers in your first few breaths, but as this meditation goes on, you are going to be able to slow down your heart rate, slow down your breathing, and this will become a lot more effortless. So keep that breathing going and start to focus on the feeling of your breath going in, whether it's going in your nose or your mouth. Start focus on the feeling of that breath going in as it's going in. Then, and remember, you're holding your tongue a little bit behind your teeth, where your teeth meet your gums. Not pressing, just kind of holding it there. You pay attention to the way it feels as the air passes past your tongue, how the air feels as it swishes past your cheeks, how it feels touching the back of your tongue, touching your throat. Pay attention to that. As you're holding it, pay attention to how the air feels as it's in your lungs, as you're holding it in your lungs. As you're releasing it, start to pay attention to how that breath feels as it's leaving, as it's going up through your throat, hitting your tongue, hitting your cheeks, hitting your lips, hitting your teeth, and going out back into the world. So you are breathing in 7 seconds, feeling that air, feeling the cool air going past your tongue, touching your lips, touching your cheeks, touching the back of your throat. You're holding for 4 seconds. You're feeling the pressure in your lungs. You're feeling the tightness in your chest as your lungs are expanded to capacity. Now you're releasing that air. You're releasing it. It's coming out of your chest. Your chest is compressing. Your lungs are emptying. The air is coming past through your throat, past your tongue, past your teeth, past your lips. It's warm. It's a different temperature and a different feeling than as you were inhaling. Keep that up. You're going to be holding empty lungs. Feel your chest compressed all the way. Feel your lungs totally empty. You're going to start breathing in again. You're going to feel that cool air. You're going to pay attention to what that feels like, what the temperature change feels like as the air is passing past the parts of your body that it's passing past. And again, you're holding it. You're holding it for 4 seconds. And you're releasing it. You're releasing it. It's warm coming out. It's warm going back out into the world. It's the force of it is coming from the opposite direction now as it's passing past your tongue, your cheeks, your palate, your soft palate, going out. Now that we've got a breathing rhythm ready and our mind is starting to focus on our breath, we are going to start trying to clear our mind of other things. So we're focusing on the feeling of the breath as it passes through our mouth, through our nose. We're paying attention to the feeling of our lungs expanding, the feeling in our chest, and we are going to be moving our minds back to that whenever it starts to wander. It's okay if your mind wanders. Minds wander during meditation, no matter how experienced in meditation you are. Your mind is always going to wander. That's what our minds are programmed to do. So give yourself that. That's okay. You have this breath that you can bring your focus back to as you notice that your mind is wandering. So if your mind has wandered, bring it back to the breath. Focus on those feelings, those physical sensations that you're feeling. Start to kind of expand that awareness of the physical sensations. Start to focus on how it feels in your chest, how your chest is raising. What about the sides of your body, under your armpits and stuff? That is changing shape too as your breath is coming in and going out. What about your stomach? Your stomach is rising and expanding for a while you're breathing in. Does it stop expanding while you're still breathing in though? Usually when we are inhaling, our stomachs will rise to a point and then stop rising while we're still taking in the breath. Pay attention to that. Kind of notice that sort of difference when that the stomach all of a sudden stops rising, stops expanding, but our breath is still coming in. Pay attention to those different little tiny differences, those little tiny physical things happening in your body as you're breathing in, as you're breathing out. Move your awareness around the parts of your body that are being affected by your breath and notice sensations there. You've been paying attention to your chest. Do you have any other sensations going on in your chest that you want to just notice right now? Your stomach, how does it feel? Your shoulders, are they rising up and down, and how do they feel? Are they tense? Can you focus on some of that tension in your shoulders as they're rising up and down? Is the breathing affecting the tension in your shoulders as they rise up and down as you breathe in and out? Again, I forgot to keep my back straight because I got into professor mode. Remember to keep your back straight and your shoulders back, not uncomfortably back, but just kind of restfully back. Get them back. That gives your chest the room to expand. Pay attention to the muscle tension in your shoulders. Move around in your mind. Pay attention to the muscle tension in your arms, in your neck. Start to kind of radiate out from the chest where we started our focus, and pay attention to the sensations and feelings that you are feeling in your body. How does your neck feel? How does the place where the spine meets the skull feel? Is there tension there? Can you feel that tension change at all as you're breathing in and breathing out? How do your arms feel? Start with your biceps and then take your consciousness down just paying attention to sensations that you're feeling in your forearms and your hands. How do they feel? How is that tension changing as we're bringing in air, holding it, and then releasing the air and holding? Pay attention to your stomach, your back. How is your upper back feeling as your chest cavity is expanding with air coming in, and you're holding it, and then compressing again with air going out? How does the places between the shoulder blades feel? What about under the shoulder blades? What about the middle of your back? What about where your waist bends and your lower back? How does that feel as you're inhaling, holding, and exhaling, and holding? Move your awareness down to your legs, your thighs, your glutes. How is there tension there? Focus on that tension. Breathe in. Focus on any tension that you have. If you don't have tension there, go back to a place that was tense in an upper part of your body. Just move your awareness around your body and feel any tension that you have, and just focus your mind on that tension as you're inhaling and exhaling. Remember to keep your back straight, shoulders back. Keep your tongue softly behind your upper row of teeth where they meet the gums. You're going to be breathing in again for 7 seconds, or seven count at least, holding for a 4 count, and exhaling for another 7 count, and holding for another 4 count with empty lungs. So now that we've been kind of taking a tour around our body and feeling the tension, and just acknowledging the tension, and paying attention to how our breathing is affecting that tension, let's go ahead and start working on what we're being conscious of right now. So by now your mind has probably wandered a couple times, and that's fine. This is why we started with focus on the breathing, so it gives us something to send our mind right back to once we notice our mind has wandered. We go back to that breathing that we're doing. But now what I want you to do is start to let those things that come into your mind go ahead and go right in front of your consciousness, kind of right in front of your eyes. Go ahead and notice them, but give them each a little label. So if something comes into your mind and it's something that you remembered that you have to do today, that's planning. The label for that is planning. So pop a little label on it. Don't be mad at yourself for having a thought come into your mind, because again, that's what your brain is designed to do. It's designed to do that. It's doing its job. So it's not bad that a thought has popped into your head, but give it a label. Don't judge it, and then go back to focusing on your breathing. So you popped a little label on planning. Another thought comes in. Someone annoyed you this morning. That's a judgment. That's okay that you have a judgment. We all have judgments. Don't judge that judgment. Pop a little label on it. The label is judgment. Go back to focusing on your breathing. As these thoughts intrude on your meditation, don't get mad, don't get upset, don't get frustrated. There may be a lot, there may be a little. Just go ahead and pop a little label on each of them, and then go back to focusing on your breathing and let them go. Keep this going. We're going to come back to those things. We labeled them for a reason, but don't worry about them right now. Even if they're really important, you'll figure out why in a little bit. We're going to continue focusing on our breathing, and continue noticing sensations and changes in our body, noticing tensions in our body, and for about 5 minutes. We've probably been doing it for 5 minutes by now, so I'm going to start wrapping this up. Keep breathing. 7 seconds in, 4-second hold, 7 seconds out, 4-second hold. You've been labeling your thoughts. You've been noticing your tension. Go back to focusing on your breathing whenever you can. Focus on that air coming in. Focus on the coolness of the air coming in, the warmness of the air coming out, the sensation of the air being held inside your lungs, the sensation of holding your lungs empty afterwards. Keep that going. Start to think about that tension that you've noticed around your body, and start to kind of imagine that tension around your body as red. Imagine your body is a big gray, dark gray thing. Imagine the outline of your body. It's like a silhouette. And the places where the tension are red. The breath coming in your body, imagine it's blue. Every time you take a breath, it's a blue breath coming into your body and going throughout your body. Now focus on specific areas of tension. Imagine that blue breath coming in and mixing up with that red tension and turning purple. And that purple comes back into your lungs. Now when it's time to exhale, exhale that purple out. So that area that was tense is now a little less red, a little more gray, a little more silhouette. Keep breathing in the blue and mixing it with the red, turning it purple until that tension starts to decrease to a really tolerable, manageable level. If you have thoughts intruding during this time, label them, continue labeling those thoughts, then go back to focusing on those tension and mixing it with the blue air coming in, the red tension, mixing with the blue air, turning purple, and you're exhaling that purple out. Your body is becoming more and more soft, dark, cool gray as more of the red is being removed in the form of tension mixing with the blue air and leaving your body as purple air. If you have intrusive thoughts, just don't judge them, just put a little label on it and then refocus on letting that tension go. After we've done this for a while, after we're comfortable, we feel like we've decreased a little bit of the tension in our bodies, let's go ahead and start winding down. Put the focus back on the cool air coming in and the warm air coming out. We're breathing in for 7 counts. We're holding for 4. We're breathing out for 7 counts. We're holding empty lungs for 4. Just keep doing that a couple more times. We'll do maybe 2 more of those. Focus on the coolness of the breath coming in. Focus on the tension in the chest as you're holding the breath. Focus on the warm breath as it goes out for 7 seconds. Focus on the sensation of the empty lungs for 4 seconds. Focus on the cool breath coming in for 7 more seconds. Focus on the tension in the lungs as you hold that air in for 4 seconds. Focus on the warm breath going out for the last exhale of this meditation for 7 seconds. All right, we're not done. We had a good breathing meditation. We felt a lot of tension leaving our body, but you're going to debrief yourself after you do this short meditation. I like to do this meditation in the morning and in the evening, and sometimes if I'm having a really anxious day, I'm close to a panic attack, I might do this. Save a little time at the end for self-debrief. Go back and think about how that meditation went. If you even want to write it down, that's not a bad thing. Keep a meditation journal. That's a really good thing. But at least give yourself a little bit of time to debrief. Think about what worked. Think about how often those thoughts were intruding. Think about how well you were able to refocus on your breath. Think about those topics that were harder to get rid of. If you thought of something that's planning, remember I said label it planning, try and recall it. If you can't recall it, it wasn't that important. But if you can recall it, this is the time that you can now use it, that you can now act on it. The next time you do this activity, because you did this debrief, and then you acted on that planning part, your mind is going to trust you more. So it's going to be okay with letting that go a little bit easier. So you'll be able to get back to focusing on your breathing. Because you did your end of the bargain where you actually did act on it. You just labeled that as planning. I'm going to take care of that later. It's important that you do so that your mind trusts you. Your mind will be ready to release those things a lot easier then. So I'm going to save this. I'm going to post this to the Phillipjreese, the DJ page. I'll probably post it to my Instagram, and I'll post it maybe to YouTube. So you can go back if you want to practice this later. If you came in late and you're wondering, what I was saying, you can revisit this. It's free. I want everyone to just have this. Again, as I said at the beginning, I deal with generalized anxiety disorder. For the last year, my meditation practice has been hella important to me to keeping that anxiety down. I try and meditate at the very least once a day, but it's a good day if I can meditate at the beginning and the end. And just this breathing exercise, this was a little longer than it would actually do because I was explaining what was going on while we were doing it, but it's, about 5 minutes and then a 1 to 2 minute self-debriefing afterwards is all you really need to get this done, and it just will bring down your anxiety level so much. I'm going to post this all over so that you can revisit it if you want, and just try this today. It's an anxious time. It's a good time to just focus on things that bring down your anxiety levels and help you feel a little less anxious, a little bit more calm, and be able to face whatever is facing us with a cool head and no panic attacks. So anyways, thanks. I just wanted to share this with all of you so that you could have it. Something I have in my toolbox and something I has helped me a lot, and I really want to share it with everyone else. So have a nice day.